The fourth and final season of Netflix's wildly popular series Never Have I Ever is leading the platform's streaming charts across the world. I recently spoke with one of the series' lead actors, Poorna Jagannathan, about the show's success and how it's paving the way for more diversity in Hollywood as part of our arts and culture series, Canvas. Poorna Jagannathan, welcome back to the NewsHour. It's good to see you again.
Such a pleasure. I remember we did with the release of season 1, and such a pleasure to come full circle and be with you for season 4.
So we are talking 4 seasons later now. The world is now watching the final episodes of what's become a multicultural phenomenon on television, Never Have I Ever. How are you feeling about it coming to an end?
Well, as you're talking, it's really occurring to me, it's gone from an extraordinary thing in season 1 to an ordinary thing in season 4, meaning like the diversity was so unheard of. And now we're seeing so much more representation in streaming platforms and the scripts I'm getting and just everything. So the beauty of it going from a complete one-off, a complete explosion to it being much more ordinary is actually the journey that we wanted always.
Did the reaction over the last 4 seasons surprise you? I mean, show creator Mindy Kaling shared recently this screen grab that seemed to show all of the #1 shows across Netflix around the world. Never Have I Ever was #1 across country after country after country. Did that surprise you?
It really was very surprising for season 1. We didn't know what we were making. We just knew we were having an unbelievably intimate experience while making it. But we didn't know who would watch it, why people would watch it. It felt so radically diverse that it felt like such a big risk. And even then, it was #1. We didn't expect that at all. We thought it'd be very niche.
When we first spoke, you also talked about the connection you felt to this role. You play an immigrant mom, right? Nalini Vishwakumar. You yourself, as you said, are an immigrant mom. Does that in any way make it harder to say goodbye to this role right now because of that connection you felt?
Well, the funny thing is, as the seasons progressed, it became closer and closer to who I am. When I got this role, she was really funny. She parents in a different way from how I parent. She's super strict. I have no boundaries. Um, but for example, the party getting married, that was my life. My mother got remarried at 64, or they be getting ready for college. That happened this year, and my son's getting ready for college. So for all of us, the show has really revealed our personal lives, and it's become very meta and therefore very weird and hard to let go of. I do believe this is the role of a lifetime for me.
There are something I wanted to ask you about because there are so many detailed, culturally specific moments throughout the show, whether it comes to traditions or celebrations or even the terms of endearment that you use to refer to other people. I wonder, did you and the writers say, okay, we have to explain this in some way to our audience, or did you just think, we're going to do it and they'll catch up?
What I love about this show is that there are no footnotes. There's no you saying something and then someone translating. There's an element of cultural specificity that is never explained. And I think that's what makes it so beautiful and so authentic. For example, the wedding jewelry that I wear is literally what I wear in my real life. It's not a character thing. It's what I wear. I'm South Indian. Or there was a scene where we said goodbye to Senthil's mom, and it was just written in as we hug her. But Senthil and I both, when we leave, our parents and our grandparents, we do the namaskaram, which is it's the bow. The props person would call me the day before and say, okay, we have a dinner scene. What are you thinking to eat? What do you want to eat? And, we would discuss, khichdi today, or, dosa sambar today. And so it was one of the only sets I've been on where there's so much cultural specificity that everyone wanted and authenticity, and they looked to the actors to provide that.
We have seen a number of both television shows, but also movies, animated film even, in which Asian American characters and Asian American stories are not on the fringes. They are the centerpiece. They are the focus. We saw that with Everything Everywhere All at Once. We saw that on TV with Ms. Marvel and Beef, even with animated films like Turning Red. Why do you think we're seeing that now?
I actually think it started from Never Have Ever. I mean, I absolutely believe that what we are seeing now is because of shows that Mindy has created and Shonda has created, where people of color are the center of those stories, and they are doing so well. I mean, Netflix uses Never Have Ever as kind of a lighthouse. Example of what a show can do in terms of story, in terms of diversity of storylines, diversity of casting. But I think once something's been greenlit and does well, the floodgates open. And I believe Never Have I Ever was there because of Crazy Rich Asians. You know, I think it's a domino effect, and the dominoes have just grown. And it's so high risk when you do something like this, and people are now willing to take the risk. And there's an audience. I think audiences are demanding now to be seen. They're demanding to be reflected. And streaming services like Netflix are rising to meet them.
You've got some more work coming up, though you play very different characters in. You're going to play a bad guy in your upcoming Netflix film called The Outlaws. The scope of your career has been so fun and interesting to watch because you have played all different kinds of characters. And in an industry where women of color aren't necessarily granted all that kind of agency to make decisions about the roles they play, the older women get, you're not necessarily given that many roles. And here you are, a 50-year-old brown woman setting new peaks. How do you do that?
It's the industry. I've said this a million times. I'm not a creator. I'm a performer, and I come to scripts. I don't create them. But there are women before me who are continuing to do the work. Men are dying to put a full stop on women's narratives and lives. They're just like dying to write us out. But there's women like Reese Witherspoon and Nicole Kidman, Mindy Kaling, and Shonda was like, but that's not going to happen. That full stop is not going to go there. It's a comma, and the narrative continues. And so I am walking in the shadows of these women. I fully know that my career and the trajectory I have is because these women just opening doors with all their might right before I got there. And I am waltzing through those doors now.
That is Poorna Jagannathan, one of the stars of Never Have I Ever, which is ending now after 4 seasons. Congratulations. We'll be watching what you do next.
Thank you for always supporting me and the show, and it's a pleasure to be back on with you.